Everyone should go and see the changing of the guard ceremony at least once. This is one of the best free tourist attractions in London for a reason, regardless of whether you are a native Londoner or just visiting for a short while. The procession that happens when the Queen's Guard completes its guard duty and turns the baton to the replacement guard is known as the changing of the guard. However, there is a big ceremony with brass bands, marching, and a ton of tradition, as opposed to just a simple goodbye, which is all you get from most of us as we rush out the door at 5 o'clock. London's lengthy and complicated past is filled with strange and amazing tales. The fact that you can occasionally find some rather strange yet interesting locations to explore in the city comes as no surprise. One such location is the Mithraeum, an ancient Roman temple devoted to the enigmatic Mithras, whose cult-like adherents were cloaked in secrecy. It seems too strange to be real. That's where you're mistaken, though. The Temple of Mithras not only exists, but you may see it without spending a dime. In the City of London, the immersive experience is concealed beneath the Bloomberg buildings. This is absolutely one of the best places to go in London for free. London's reputation as a thriving center for street art is already pretty well cemented. While other cities were dismissing the notion of graffiti as art, Londoners welcomed it with open arms. They are ready for it if gifted artists decide to utilize the city as a canvas to inject some color into our lives. One of London's most well-established street art communities is found in Shoreditch. There are works by some of the most well-known street artists in the world everywhere you turn. It can be extremely difficult to gain a nice view of a city's skyline without paying exorbitant prices for the privilege. It's fantastic that you can view London from a great height in places like the Shard, but it kind of stinks if you don't want to spend £30 on a ticket. The Oxo Tower can help with that. A fun, undiscovered location in London that can be visited at no cost. You're up on the 8th floor here, not the 72nd floor, so we won't pretend that it's on the same level. However, before you start sniffling, let us say that it's right next to the river and boasts some pretty cool views. Although there are many amazing things about London, we believe that one of its most distinctive features is the sheer number of museums that are completely free to enter. Many of the largest museums in the area are also among the most popular free attractions in London. Not sure which one to choose? Take a trip to the British Museum. When it comes to the volume of oddities, artworks, and relics on show, it very well is unmatched. Just make sure you go prepared with a comfy pair of shoes because you don't want to make that mistake. Sky Garden is London's highest public garden, a vibrant social space with 360-degree views of the city's iconic skyline. Here, you can experience London from a spectacular viewpoint. Enjoy lush greenery, exquisitely landscaped gardens, observation decks, and an open-air terrace. Access to the Sky Garden is free of charge, but spaces are limited. Visits must be booked in advance through online reservation, and can be made up to 3 weeks in advance. Due to its Instagrammable appearance, Walthamstow's Neon Treasure may no longer be a secret London location, but it is still one of the trendiest free locations in the city. The warehouse represents the culmination of Chris Bracey's life's work. The neon artist created memorable signs and graphics for clients including Tim Burton. This colorful warehouse is decked with humorous kaleidoscopic signs and neon lights, and you could easily spend an hour taking photos of it. Finding a free walking tour to participate in is enjoyable. Choose from a variety of options on a variety of topics, such as an East London culinary tour or a Jack the Ripper excursion, and then set out. I should point out that despite their claims to be free, these trips are essentially a pay-what-you-want excursion. It is up to you whether or not to compensate someone for a fantastic outing. The last of the enormous palaces that formerly lined the Thames in downtown London is Somerset House. Any list of free things to do in London must include the jaw-dropping quad and striking neoclassical architecture. Even though it's fun to explore on your own, we suggest signing up for one of Somerset House's free tours to learn more about the palace's fascinating past. Tickets are only made available on the day of the event and go rapidly, but making the effort is totally worthwhile. Everyone is familiar with London's bridges, including London Bridge and the contentious Millennium Bridge, which had to close as soon as it opened for some time because it wobbled too much. However, were you aware of the Greenwich Foot Tunnel? Today, well over 1 million people still use the tunnel, which first opened in 1902. You can travel from one side of the Thames to the other in 370 meters of straight tunnel, making it one of London's most unusual locations.